In we go. Hey everyone, and welcome back to Jaraci Cup 9. Continuing coverage of the bracket, we move to Quarterfinals A. This one going to be between myself, Bozocow, obviously coming out of Group A undefeated. I have the lowest seed number 1. And my opponent going to be rsabo M.E.S, coming out of Group B with the lowest score. Poor guy, he's got no... No, obviously I'm not that good, but... I mean, you would have to... You do have to admit I would be the favorite for this series, though. It's going to be an interesting one because it's going to be CVC here. rsabo picks Coalition, and I'm going to match the pick. I banned Canyon Outpost, just don't want to play on that map in general. rsabo M.E.S going to ban the Boneyard. And that's interesting because if I'm playing Galzian, that's a really nice ban against me, right? But not really the one that... not really the one that you would expect if I'm playing Coalition like this. He picks the Shallows for game 1, this is his pick, but I'm going to be very comfortable with this map myself. And then I picked Firebase Krill and Kalash Teeth. Just two maps that I feel pretty good on. Kalash Teeth actually I do feel good on if I'm not against Con F. Because I can AV Rush, you know, I can do some fun strats on that map. And then rsabo picks Tourney Crater for the 4th map, and then I picked Titan Passage for the 5th. Just because Titan Passage is a map you could really make things happen. I mean, if rsabo really surprised me and was killing me in the other games, we got to the ace match, you know, I'd like to be on that map. It seems like a comfort pick to me, so that's my thinking in the pick ban process. It's SC first for me. AV Rush, I suppose, coming out of rsabo M.E.S here. Yeah, 5 salvagers, so he's probably doing this right. I think that he has his timing almost perfect, in fact. Because, oh, actually, it looks like he probably started it at about, like, 29 or 28.55. So, a little bit late, but not too much. There's the SC probe from rsabo, actually. Oh, I see. This is why he was delayed a little bit. So he launched the probe before he started the tech there. I'm going to see an LAV, though, but I'm also going to see a probe. So I kind of think, okay, you know, how can you have both of them? He must be going for, and by the way, down goes the probe. He must be going for, like, LAV turret is kind of the idea. Because I'm thinking that the base runner is still up. That probe can often be... Excuse me, I've got hiccups. That probe can often be like a fake tell of what kind of build you're doing, but I feel like against Coalition it's maybe not great because, like, I have a probe myself. I'm just going to use it if I'm doing SC first. But if I was going to do, like, LAV first or something like that, you know, and then I see that probe, maybe I think, oh yeah, we're good to go, we need to pressure on the SC because he's doing SC first, and then it turns out he's got AV Rush. So, there's ideas there, but I think in this game, probe maybe a little bit of waste, and it died really fast too, so. AV Fab is done. None of them on the queue yet, though. Oh, wait, no, I take it back. One's actually finished already. He's building a base runner, too, though. That's kind of interesting. But he's also getting that carry protection upgrade, and I've talked about that before. I don't think it's a great move, but that is how he tends to play it, I've noticed. So, actually, my probe has not seen this yet, though. I'm kind of doing some bad information with this probe here, just trying to figure out where the LAVs are and stuff like that. I really want to come out here and see... Oh, look, an AV, right? But I'm kind of... I mean, this is a good place for it to be, to check the flank if there's LAVs, but I really want to know, is there tech coming at me, right? But really, fortunately for me, right, I mean, because he got that carry production upgrade, he's kind of, like, stalled out here, so he's only actually bought one. Coming at me, you know, a million miles an hour as they are, but, it's not going to be a huge deal to just have, like, one AV on me. And hey, it's Discara! Welcome to the stream, my guy. It's been a long time since you've been around, but, yeah, we made a new layout for the Shallows, because the old one was a little janky, you know? And I think this one maybe is still also a little bit janky, but not as much, so it's better. Although, full disclosure, I made this, so I'm kind of... I have to say that, right? AV tech finishing for me, as well as carry production upgrade. This first AV does come up to try and pressure, but I do have a turret that I can set down. Big defender's advantage still? Yeah, I think so, but it's kind of curious. Because you can, like, come up here on the side and then get, like, high ground on the defenders. A-Game is saying that he thinks the map will be much improved if the extraction zones are flipped. So... And yeah, you're right, the third base is very exposed, but even the second is on this low ground where it can be attacked here. In fact, the AAVs that rsabo is building, they're very, very good on this map. I mean, I think AAV Rush is quite strong on the new Shallows. I see, by the way, with the Pro where a couple more AAVs are at. I did just end a sentence in a preposition. Come at me, English teachers. This base runner here perhaps wants to die. It should really back away there. It's a little bit risky. Intrigulating. I've never heard that one before. Obviously, AVs can smoke, so I mean, this turret does not shut down everything that they want to do, but it will make it difficult for them to fight. This is a 2-on-1 scenario here, though, so even though I've got some high ground, I don't really want to take this fight, so I isolate the one guy. I do have armor 1, though, and I don't believe he has armor yet. And in fact, I'm taking armor 2 now as well. So AV is coming up on this approach as well. I've got high ground once again, and the SC is here too, but on top of that, I do have armor 2, so there's no way that he's going to win this fight. He starts shooting at the salvagers at first, but I'll just smoke it, so he starts shooting at the AVs, but that's not really going to get him anywhere either. Really, he wants to smoke and just try and get out of there, and he is going to do just that. Little chase down on this side as well, though. I managed to grab that AV also, but rsabo gets an artifact to his name, so he's got a little bit of carrier power to play with on the defense here, but it is going to be a counter push for me. I'm going to push in now with my AVs and see if I can get some damage back on him. This probably won't go anywhere, though, because these guys do have high ground, so I'm going to have to smoke and back off here. AV there does get chased down, though. But again, it's armor 1 against armor 2 right now. Not really good odds for the AVs of rsabo. And my next support cruiser is popping right now as well, so I now have 2 base set up with a support cruiser, which means I can move on to 3 with my carrier. Assault cruiser fab on the way as well. Still no tech from rsabo. But I just saw his carrier too, so I know that. I'm not gonna be like blindly not countering for air. I know that he doesn't have it yet. And I can check it again at my leisure if I need to. Is that probe still alive? Yeah, look at that. So the probe obviously would be pretty handy for that. Looks like I'm just gonna set a turret up here on the approach to the extraction zone. That made a kind of a weird noise. It sounded like some kind of meat processing. Did you hear that? Oh well. Smoke deployed by rsabo here. Not sure what for though. He kind of cuts off like the vision to the carrier, but I don't know. I think he needs it for the turret there. Meat processing? You don't like that? And you can see, by the way, though, I have a very strong hold on my opponent's third base here because I'm extracting. This is why A-Game is saying to flip the zones, by the way. But I know that my opponent's not on 3 base, so I'm very comfortable right here if I can just defend. These AVs have smoke, but I don't even really think that I need it. rsabo throws the smoke at my way angrily, but he's not really going to be able to get much more than that. This AV here wants to die, though. Armor 1 is done for rsabo now, so he can take this fight. But now that it's 2-on-2, well, soon to be 4-on-2, doesn't look terribly good for him after all. Assault cruiser fab is done, so I'm going to start building some of those. And rsabo teching some carrier power, and he's actually going to move out with the carrier now, off of like 1 base. This is a really interesting play that he does here. But I have ACs on the way already, so I'm going to bring that carrier over to try and stop the extraction. And the reason I'm doing this, right, is because I can see on his third base, he's clearly not here. So I can just drive this out then, and, you know, see if I can stop that artifact with my carrier, because I'm not really losing anything for it. I go to check the carrier to see if he has air tech, but it's not there, and then I see it here, and I was like, huh? But I can count by the numbers, he's only got power 1 just like me, 1 artifact, so I'm not really afraid of this carrier power play. Doesn't even have railgun tech yet, so to me this was quite strange, but, you know, I was okay with it. Strange in a way that favors me, I'll say. And also, because he opens a vulnerability by moving the carrier, I'm going to bring these AAVs over here to try and deny the main base as well. Assault cruisers are out. And I think I recall people on stream were like, what if he has BCs here? And I was like, well, that would be pretty scary, but I don't think so. It's true, though. I mean, if he had like a triple BC drop, I would maybe be a little bit afraid here. Smoke on the eco just to try to keep these salvagers alive. Yeah, exactly. But I mean, like, seeing that he's not even on 3 base, you know, it doesn't seem likely to me. When it comes to a damage calculation here, I clearly have the upper hand, so I'm not really afraid of this at all. Although he did get that artifact out, but it's not going to mean too much. One more attack missile barrage will finish it off. And game 1 goes in my favor. BM smoke right at the end. I always do that, I don't know. But it was a nice attempt, the AV rush, but he just wasn't really able to get any damage done with it. It just felt like he was behind the whole time. This seems like a very desperado play. Like, I guess he understood he wasn't ahead, so he tried to do something dramatic, but not to be this time. Not to be. Let's go ahead and load up game 2. This is, of course, going to be on Firebase Krill. This one's my pick. And I bet I go, what do I think I'm going to go this game? Because I remember thinking, I mean, Firebase Curl is a really good AAV map, but I think I wanted to do that on College Teeth, obviously, and I didn't want to be too, like, predictable. So this is probably like an LAV spam game, but I guess we'll see. It's 2 on RUs for now. LAV Fab started right away. Let's base runner retire 3-1. Yeah, so it looks like this is going to be AAV Rush instead. And I think that makes a lot of sense, though, because like I said, this is a very good AAV map. But, I mean, maybe thinking of the series, you know, I might choose not to do this because on the next map, College Teeth, I probably want to go AAVs. Looks like this is the same build from rsabo, so he retires that base runner and sends the probe out. Interesting build, right? I mean, I've never seen the likes of it. Well, that's not true. I mean, I've seen people do that before, but not very often. AV Fab started 29-15 for me. But for rsabo, if that's what he's going for, he's clearly going to be quite a lot slower there because of this probe retaining. He's got the money for it now. Remember, it was 29-18 for me. Ooh, if he's going to go for an AV here... Okay, yeah, he's going to do SC first instead. I was saying, like, that's gonna start being pretty late here, but no, he's not going for that build, so... That bodes well for him. A couple LAVs for me, then. This is pretty standard in AV Rush. I do fill out the RU salvagers, though. These LAVs, of course, can scout. I mean, maybe there's pressure coming at me from him, so, you know, it's nice to have some LAVs to see things. And then AAV Fab will finish, and I'll be able to build a couple of them. But the LAVs actually really are still pretty relevant. I mean, that very big vision radius, they can support the AVs quite a lot. And they do have some significant DPS as well, so... AV Fab done for me now. Looks like it's 3 LAVs that I've built. And AAVs are indeed coming out for me. Probe here from rsabo wants to see the tech, but I'm kind of warding him off with these LAVs here. He probably knows what this is, though. I mean, like, this is what AV first usually would look like. But, you know, there's a chance that maybe he doesn't catch the read here. So, always worth it to try and hunt down that probe if you can. If you deny, like, the absolute vision, where he knows for sure what you're doing, maybe, you know, you can play around with that information just a little bit. Probe is making a beeline for the carrier to just try and get that vision, but doesn't manage to see it, so that is a denial. SC is out, by the way, but still no salvagers, actually, for rsabo. If this is indeed AAV Rush, though, right, he's going to need to have... If this is indeed AAV Rush, he's going to need to have something to defend. Maybe rails, maybe AVs. I think AVs are probably the safer choice here. Long ago in the in like the vanilla CVC meta, it was, you know, SC first to AVs was like the most common build, and then after that was AV Rush, right? And this is wise because, like, if your opponent comes at you with AVs and you tech that right after getting the SC, you know, you're probably going to be okay. You know, you'll be able to defend usually. Railguns can work, though. It's just that if I happen to go for, like, an LAV Rush instead, they're not going to be terribly good. And again, I did actually deny that absolute vision. He didn't see on the probe, so the way that I'm pathing these AVs off on the side here, he might not really know that it is indeed going to be an AV Rush. Like, it kind of looks confusing here, I would say. And that's indeed, you know, what I wanted him to feel. Wanted him to feel fear and pain and all that kind of good stuff. SC comes out for me now. So I'm going to start expanding. The thing is, I'm not even really that far behind because there's only 2 salvagers out for rsabo. So, I mean, like, even though I went for the rush, I actually have almost the same eco already, let alone whatever damage I'm about to do here. Here come the AVs, though. They're on my opponent's base already. And Armor 1 is done as well, so that's quite nice for me. And then I'm hoping that he's going to come and react with these LAVs here, but I have AVs coming up on the other flank as well. So there's a lot for him to deal with here. 1 salvager killed already. Hey, take him. Smoke deployed there to try and keep this AV alive. Oh, look at that. Pog. 2 salvagers dead now on the main. Could maybe go for 3rd as well, but this time I'm just going to smoke here and try and get myself out. That AV does end up going down in the end, but it will be able to chunk down these remaining LAVs here. Down they go, and it looks like I want to see if I can maybe get some damage done on the base as well. You'll notice, though, that SC actually does pretty significant damage against the AAV. This is what caused me to, like, have to, like, smoke that one AV and try and back away first. I do get the logistics module, too. That's just icing on the cake. Uh-oh, this guy could live. He will live. Nice. And again, like I said, here I am on 2 base, right? This is how I want to play it. Carry protection on the way for me now. But I'm gonna cancel it. That's probably for fighter and gunship then. Although I don't have the RUs for it. Yeah, there it is. So then I'll probably get the production upgrade when this is 50 seconds away from finishing. That's kind of the normal thing to do. I'm happy with myself because I'm playing Coalition fairly well, I think. Although I'm sure that my play is, you know, it's pretty standard, right? This wouldn't be anything surprising to, you know, one of the top level Coalition players. I actually, like I said, wait, no, I never said this. I shouldn't. That's a spoiler, so we're not going to do anything. But yeah, I mean, I feel like my Coalition's not terrible, but it's just nothing to write home about, so... I like to play it when it's, you know, just kind of for fun, right? When I feel like I have a big advantage in the series, you know, pull something else out, but... It's definitely not my first faction. rsabo has AV tech now, by the way, so he's going to start building those. He can build some salvagers for this second base as well. That'll be very nice. And fighter and gunship will be finishing presently for me. I always say, right, I mean, if you're ahead, you know, go fighter and gunship. You'll win games like that, right? I do build a bit of ground army here. I'm not interested in dying in some stupid way. You know, where he has, like, all of a sudden a bunch of AVs pushing on me that I didn't see, because obviously I don't have vision on his base at all right now. This hero did actually get out, by the way. It's pretty crazy. I'll have some stories to tell. But yeah, so I didn't go for any, like, third base LDMs here. Instead, I just got some AVs. Thought that was all you was interested in. Dying in strange ways? No, no, no. I used to be about that life, but not anymore. We're now at, well, about to be at 4 strike fighters. I'll probably launch at about 6. But 5 or 6 is pretty standard, right? I mean, the thing about air reveals, I see people do this wrong all the time still, is that, like, you don't want to show that you have air necessarily too quickly, right? Because, once your opponent knows you have air, they're going to start building anti-air. But you don't want to show too late, because if they sense it, like, I think that air is coming, they might build anti-air before you reveal, and then you're going to lose kind of all of the advantage for it. In this kind of scenario, where I've done damage to the eco with my AV rush, I actually expect my air not just to get me field control, I expect it to actually get me kills on salvagers. That's kind of a failure if it doesn't do that, so I don't want to launch too early. But if I launch too late and he has air, like anti-air set up, I'm going to feel really stupid about waiting. So 6 seems like a good number to me. Third production upgrade actually starting to get locked in for me now, and I'm going to fill up my third base as well. Everything gone from the bank, that feels pretty nice. I feel like my spending is quite even here. rsabo floating a bit of RU, but that's because he has to rebuild salvagers, right? It looks like I'm actually going to prioritize, like, hitting the AVs here to try and facilitate, like, a push in with, like, my AVs that are there. I'm microing this quite a bit more, I think, than I really need to. Because I'm, like, trying to make sure that, like, the wounded strike fighter, like, docks there and whatever. It probably wasn't really that low, but... Honestly, though, this is a little rough because, like, I thought that, you know, I was going to get a bunch of damage on the eco if I killed, like, the AVs here, but actually I really haven't done all that much, so... a bit of a waste of the air reveal, I guess I'll say. Missile battery fab is on the way. Basement inventory, too, so you can tell he really wants to defend against this. Oh, but he did it a little bit too early. He queued the space printer too fast, so he's not going to be able to build, Oh gosh, this is A-class micro for me, isn't it? Yeah, he's not going to be able to build the turret as fast as he would like from that base printer there. Smoke pops for me here, I just don't want to fight underneath the carrier like that. I'd probably lose that one. I do have armor too, so this guy is somewhat resistant, but not going to be able to score any kills there. He does go to 7. I guess there's one too many salvagers here, huh? Yeah, here he is. I was like, 7? That doesn't make sense. Not fighting under carrier? Who is it? Yeah, you're right. That's not a very typical Bozo concern, is it? Did you hear, by the way, Discover? My girlfriend made some emotes for the channel, but then we discovered that, like, you can only have, like, 3, and 2 of them are for people who are, like, not tier 1 subbed. Or, is tier 2 higher than tier 3? I don't know how it works, but whatever. But we've got, like, a Bozo throw emote, but we can't use it because, like, it's like the tier 1 sub emote or something. Frustrating. LEV's, by the way, trying to make some kind of a play over here, but not really able to get much done. Obviously, Strike Fighter's, oh wait, that's the one that you can use, right? But there's another one. Here, I'll show you. Look at this. Oh, it's so good. I love it. Anyway, it's railguns for me. It's gonna be a carrier power play, kind of like we used to do in the vanilla days. I mean, this is like a very vanilla, this is a very vanilla play style, right? Go for AV rush into 3 base with air, you know, or into 2 base, into air, into 3 base, into rails with carrier power, right? I mean, it's very, very standard what we used to see in vanilla. But I mean, it still works in patch if you have the right scenario for it. This feels like the right scenario to me. Assault Cruiser Fab actually teching for rsabo here, but it's a little bit too low tempo. I mean, he doesn't know that this is what's coming at him. He's gonna see this in a moment. It'll be a bit of a Zaylish shock, you know, but there's not really much he can do about that, so. Now this is a pretty typical Bozo move though, because I don't actually have much carrier power, which is very much how I like to play things. Making carrier move outs when I'm on like power 1. It's because I feel like I'm gonna get these artifacts out, and to be fair, I'm right this time, but... Oh, I remember this distinctly, I think. I see this missile battery and I'm like, oh, I've got armor too, he's not gonna hurt me at all, but then it like kills the railgun or something. Oh my gosh. Well, never mind. It did nothing. Yeah, it's true, it's true. I mean, the carrier is powerful that way. Oh, that's awkward. Strike Fighters are trying to dock here, but there's like a missile battery shooting at them. I think I target all the railguns to like kill it instead of like not kill my Strike Fighters here. Like I said, you know, A+ micro from Bozo as always. In fact, I lost a lot of rails like that because they're just like sitting under the carrier and there's an AV shooting at them as well. And I'm building more, I really shouldn't. I mean, at this point, all you need is just like support cruisers, right? You can see I've got a big sea afloat anyway, which is what happens when you build rails like this. But I do have more carrier power than the next guy, so I mean, I feel okay about this. Another artifact did score, of course, and this one is on its way. What I really want to do, right, is get the railguns out here, where, like, they can't be shot by all this stuff, but they can still, you know, get eyes on things. That's obviously the way to play this, but, by the way, anti-air turret post set up by rsabo over here. Oh, there's actually 2 of them. So, he definitely wanted to deal with those Strike Fighters. He kind of was able to kill them on accident when I docked them there. Wow, that mortar just does nothing when you get armor 2, doesn't it? It's crazy. It's because it has like 20 packets, I think. But then again, that's the same number I said about the BDs, so who knows if that's true. So now it's triple support cruiser production for me. I just, you know, spam SCs and I'll have the healing to outdo this fight. I should really power up my carrier, I suppose. Yeah, there we go. I had to figure out the optimal. It's weapons, then armor, then healing, then range. It's probably the optimal when you're fighting carriers here. Yeah, well, I can see that. I mean, missile batteries, in a way different to, you know. Oh, look at this. He's actually trying to detonate. Missile batteries, in a way different to missile ships, have like a really good ability to like kill strike craft, right? So if they can also kill tanks, it's gonna be a little bit of a feels bad man. 35 in patch, dang. Yeah, so that does explain why I took so little damage there. But yeah, carrier's got the damage for it. I have a lot of support cruisers over here, so it wasn't really in question ever. He did have AC tech. I mean, maybe this could get interesting if he pops some of those, but he just didn't have any money, so it's just not like he was going to be able to get that out. Still a pretty amazingly sloppy micro for me, losing like 20 railguns for nothing. But, you know, I do get the game in the end, so what does it really matter? And we'll move on to game 3, potentially the last in this series. So we are on match point. Clearly I'm just trying to pad my win rate stats, right, by watching replays where I win. So here we go into game 3 on Kalash Teeth, like I said. LEV Fab started first, 3-1. But the base runner is retained here, so it looks like maybe I'm going to do some of the like AV rush turret shenanigans, whatever. I mean, this is how you would play like the vanilla Kalash Teeth CVC. You do SC first and keep that base runner so that you can set down turrets and fight for artifacts with AVs after you get AV Fab done. But it's kind of a weird idea. I have this weird fascination with like AV rushing with a turret as well, ready to set down. I don't really know why. So that explains like why I'm doing this. It's actually a 4 on CU start here for rsabo. LEV Fab started, so this is going to be LEV spam, I suppose. He's got one guy on RUs, that's pretty typical. I think he wants to like build up an RU bank to get the production upgrade, that's why you do this, and then you get some LDMs to mine off of that second base. So it's going to be like one base LEV spam basically from him. AV Fab a bit late for me, because I have that, oh my gosh, that when you quick drop and you're one off. Gonna be a bit late for me because I kept that base runner, but obviously my plan is to get some value out of this by setting a turret up on the second base, which will allow me to get up to like 3 base really fast, basically. Obviously, I don't really plan on like killing my opponent super early like this, right? That's not really how it works. You take the advantages you can get and just like move up to eco faster. But yeah, somehow with the turret, it just feels a little bit more dirty to me. I like that idea. I'm like obsessed with it somehow. But to be honest with you, I don't really think this is particularly good. I think it's probably wise, if you're AV rushing, that you just retire the base runner. Do as I say, not as I do, right? As for rsabo, it is production upgrade on the way now. He does have one LDM going to mine CUs from that second base location. Frantic beeping as I clearly am microing the probe a little bit. AV Fab is done, so I'm going to start building some of those. As you can see, a bit of a later time than it would have been otherwise. But it is LAV spam for my opponent, so I'm pretty fortuitous that way. It looks like this base runner is starting to get ready to move up and set down a turret. And the idea is that if he brings this carrier out to weed out the turret, which is kind of the normal thing to do, excuse me, got the hiccups again, I can bring my AVs out onto the other side and then attack onto his main. Or I can even just go through this choke point too. So turret gonna get set up probably like right here. rsabo, though, he's got a base runner of his own, so he's going to begin extracting here. So far, he's taking pretty good trades. I mentioned this in another game that I was playing Coalition, I think, but, like, if I'm going AVs first, there's no reason to trade out LAVs and lose them in the early game, right? So, a little bit messy, but what you gonna do? AV Fab coming up from rsabo now. Here's this turret for me, and the probe can be used to facilitate the turret because, the turret can, like, it can shoot further than it can see. I mean, most units in DOK can, actually. But not going to happen because, obviously, the LAVs deny it. But you get the idea. The probe lets the turret see the guys that it wants to shoot at, so you can put this thing out of vision and then have the probe come over and start hitting them from, you know, an unexpected angle. Armor 1 just now started for me, so actually these LAVs have a bit of a lead on me. But, again, I'm hoping that the carrier will come out to try to, react to this. And if it does, then I have a window where I can come in and attack the main base. Heavy Vehicles 2 coming out for me, though, so it looks like I really want to commit to this fight here. I guess that's just because there's so many LAVs. I don't really want to fight till this is done in 10 seconds, but, you know, you take freebies if you can get him right. It's about to finish here, and then I bet I will go up to an SC here, a support cruiser. I think that it only costs 5 fleet caps. Yep, there you go. I am able to perfectly fit that. Was it 5 or 4? I didn't actually see. I think it was 5. Pretty sure sport cruisers are 5 fleet capacity, right? Anyway, carrier is actually coming to help ward off the AAVs, but I mean, that's fine by me, because unless he's got a support cruiser... Oh, look, he does, actually. And I saw that, too. But in that case, you know, he wouldn't have been on, like, on one base even, but looks like he does have that SC out, so... So he's plugging up the choke here. He wants to stop me from getting in. But if he goes out to deal with the turret, then I'm just gonna slide right past him, right? Turret set up by rsabo from the base runner on this side. Cena. Well, you've been gone for a bit, you know? You've been on a vacation. Looks like that carrier is moving out there to try and cover the second base. I've actually made another probe here just so that I can try and see, you know, what's going on here. But once that carrier leaves, I really want to go over there. However, the LAVs are kind of making a play on me right now, so I kind of have to deal with this with my AVs here. Get him to leave. But now I feel like, okay, he's going that way, I can come in, but he's actually got AVs out, so he's done a pretty good job of stopping me from, you know, achieving my goal there, of, like, getting in there and harassing the eco. I am building AVs back at home, that's why I feel okay about these things getting through. Carrier gonna start tanking the turret shots here. He wants to clear that one out, of course. He's only got armor 0 though. Uh-oh. And I've got armor 2 here, so while the carrier is busy with this, his AAVs did not win the fight as he had expected. I left him on so little health. But that gives me a bit of a window to come in onto the main base here, so... Oh, I really like the attempt to smoke the logistics module, but doesn't quite get it. So that's gonna fall as well. But it looks like I feel my health bars are a little bit too low to try and commit in here, but I've killed all the salvagers on that second base, so I'm feeling pretty good about this. Artifact Extract comes out for me as well. Oh, but look at this, he gets in behind me here. It's pretty good for him. Yeah, I tried to smoke that guy to keep him alive, but I couldn't save him. But if I can just kill like 2 of these LAVs, you know, they have low health bars, right? Like the Sport Cruiser will be able to take care of the rest, so I'm not worried about too much here. But he does manage to kill, I think that was 2 salvagers, so not too bad. We're kind of trading blow for blow here then. That's obviously what he needs to do to stay into this series, so I like the idea. Another carrier production upgrade for me. Oh no, that's the first one. Wow, I never got the production upgrade. That's kind of crazy. I've actually got the money to go Heavy Vehicles 3 too, which would be pretty... That'd actually be pretty good here, I think. But looks like I'm going to prioritize actually building units, which is probably the right call. Now I remember that there's a turret out here, but it doesn't seem like it's in a good position. I think the way that the dune is, it can't actually shoot any of these units here until they get like over this ridge. So, I guess I didn't know that though. So I smoke up to it then, but you see how this is going to end. Obviously, the idea is that if I can just get up on top of the turret, well, it's not gonna win this fight. I actually let it kill an LAV there, which is maybe a mistake. Could have had the AVs run out in front first. Tries to set up a second turret here though, but that's not gonna go anywhere. And AVs have AOE now too, so I'm not even like not hitting the base burner while I do that. It's pretty cool. And Heavy Vehicles 3 is on the way for me, all right. Base burner does get killed here. A couple more AVs coming up in the back line. And I'm just gonna come back with this base burner and set that turret up again. I mean, it worked last time, you know. Because the thing is, my thinking is that when these guys push through, his carrier will come to try and deal with me, and then now I can set up that turret and do some evil things. Armor 3, by the way, done, as I said. He doesn't have armor 2 yet, so... Rail Fab coming out for him then. He needs something to deal with these AVs. He clearly can't, you know, beat them with AVs of his own, he feels. So he's going to try to tech to the counter unit here. Third production line, though, that's got to be a mistake. I mean, there's no way he can sustain that off of 2 base. And he's building railguns, right? So yeah, sure enough, carrier moves out to try and deal with this attack, and then the turret gets set up there, so pretty nicely timed by me, if I do say so myself. And I'm just going to try and get these AAVs out of here if I can. Evil little turret here, going to snipe another salvager off the line. Maybe even going to get 2. Ooh, not quite. It's close though, but here I come attacking on the main base now. Again, it's a push and a pull when you have this kind of an advantage. You want to, you know, think, where's my opponent going to go to respond to me? I should go to the other place, right? Dephex deployed there to just try and get a bit of damage, but actually I feel like he really just needs that money right now. It's going to be hard for him to ever confirm kills here. I've got like a sort of a hospital system set up and try to heal up all these AVs. He does have railguns out now though, but I mean... It's not going to be enough, right? Like, this is catastrophic damage, I'm sure you can tell. Maybe I'm actually just going to try to win off of artifacts here, because it would take me a while to, like, finish the game off with AVs only, but, like, I'm already at 2, so if I can just extract another ring of 3, I'll win the game. Seems to me like the fastest win condition. Turret here, seems like it's going to get weeded out, but he needs to be careful. Your salvagers can die like while the carrier's clearing out the turret, so you want to be careful you don't let that happen. Artifact picked up in mid here. I think I dropped a turret as well, yeah. Turret post went down, but I can see his tech. So this probe is still giving me a lot of value here. I know that it's not air. Looks like I'm on the main base again. I mean, it's not too much of a surprise, right? If he ever tries to push out mid, I'll just come around the side. There's 1 artifact, 2, 3, that should be the game. And, you know, not really anything that he can do about it at this point. It's just too far behind, I'd say. It's nice smoke too, eh? Nice. Yeah, it does kill off that railgun as well. I'll set my sights now on the second base where the only salvagers are left, but I mean, pretty soon the carrier will be the only unit left on the field for him, for rsabo. And at that point, our victory is more or less assured, eh? I mean, I would have to power down my carrier and offer it to him as a sacrifice to lose at this point. Even gonna get the logistics module. That's just rude. I think I joked on stream, like, how long do you think it takes to kill a carrier with AAVs here? Because, like, obviously I'm just gonna win by the extraction here, but I was like, I don't know, how long do you think that would take? Because it seems to me like it'd take a pretty freaking long time. 25 armor means 1 damage per shot, and the rate of fire of an AAV is pretty high, but, yeah, this carrier will take forever to die. I'm bathing him in orange. Well, and with this extraction, that will be the end of the game, and indeed the end of the series. Here we go. Well, looks like he chose to GG there, but... Oh. Ooh. That's pretty cool looking. It'd be kind of cool if it actually, like, damaged the AVs, but oh. Although, you know what would happen then is that, like, if you ever had a carrier fight that was close, one guy would blow up and it would kill the other guy, and then that'd be a little funky looking. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed, though. That is the upper bracket quarterfinals A that we've just cast, and I win this one 3-0.